Hello everyone, welcome to the preview for the game against Coventry on Sunday at Wembley. We've got myself and Lushan who will be batting for the Coventry side today. First and foremost, lads, how are we all doing and are we looking forward to this tie? I'll start with you, Lushan, first. How are you feeling? Confident at all?
Oh, yeah, you won't want me to say it, but I'm more confident than if we got City, to be honest.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what's your average shots allowed per game? What, 28? So,
It's high, mate. Yeah.
It's up there. So more confident. I mean, I'm under no delusions thinking, oh, we're gonna smash yous, but it's gonna be a good game. I mean, the last time we played yous, I was 8 years old.
I had that down actually.
So,
yeah, long time ago.
Yeah, we won, but yeah. So
exactly.
Yeah, but I think we're in a better position as a team now than we were then. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not a better time to play United, really, is it, Sam? At the minute, you look at our form and the way we're playing, and as Lushan rightfully said, the shots conceded and stuff. It's almost like you're like, we could actually, it's going to be a bit of a battle, isn't it, on Sunday?
Yeah, it's not like we have any sort of like home advantage. We're not playing at Old Trafford, which, to be honest, hasn't helped this season anyway. Our Wembley record is pretty good under Ten Hag, but everything else not so great. So yeah, I don't have any illusions that we're gonna progress easily through this game if we do progress through this game.
Yeah. Lushan, just talk to me a little bit about Coventry's journey so far, the highs, the lows, and how it's been as a fan over the past couple of years. Because correct me if I'm wrong, didn't you get the playoffs finals? Was it last season? You've obviously gone really far in the FA Cup this year. Like, what's it like as a Coventry fan at the minute? It's exciting, right?
Yeah, so at the minute, I think since I'd say 2020, so COVID season, is when we gained some real momentum. Well, actually, just slightly before that, but gained some real momentum. And as of the last couple of years, we've seen way more fans coming in to the arena. We back at our home ground, which I'm sure we'll talk about later.
Nice.
But yeah, it's been amazing to watch. FA Cup run this year. Obviously started off nothing amazing special, like we were against Oxford, couple of divisions below us. It's one of those you expect to pull a good result out. Then we had the same division tie with Sheffield Wednesday, I think, after that one. Yeah, Sheffield Wednesday, we ended up playing them 4 times in a month because we got a draw. So yeah,
wow.
home away, all those. But yeah, then we round off that, we had Maidstone after that. So
you had a decent one themselves, didn't they? Maidstone done quite well to get as far as they did.
Yeah, biggest non-league, furthest that a non-league team got in the competition. We were sort of kind of the villains on the day because everyone really wanted Maidstone to get through besides the Cov fans. But I think real professional performance, 5-0. Sims scored a hat-trick.
Nice.
But no showboating or anything, just got the job done. Real class. It was what I like to see from my team. And then obviously the last game against Wolves, which was crazy.
Yeah, sensational. Yeah. We are going to dive into that a little bit later on as well. It's almost complete opposite for us, isn't it? Because it's been like underachieving with the money that we've spent and the talent we possess in the squad. We have been fucking way off it, haven't we, in any competition.
Yeah, like Carabao Cup, we crashed out to Newcastle C team. And just looked abysmal. Champions League, Onana basically just decided, I don't want to be in this competition, and just ruined every single game for us and just made it impossible for us to think. In a group where you looked at it and you're like, besides Bayern, but obviously Bayern, I know they're quarter-finalists, but they haven't looked great this season, let's be honest. They were a beatable Bayern team, and then Copenhagen and Galatasaray, like, you should be winning those games, and Onana just basically made it impossible for us to progress. And then, yeah, in the league, we've just been anything from the absolute drizzling shits to how the fuck have we won this game? Like, just got... We just outscored opposition, basically. So, yeah, there's nothing in this season where I could look at, besides a couple of goals that stand out, like Garnacho's overhead kick and Kobe Mainu. There's not much this season I can hold on to and go, this is good. We are in an FA Cup semi-final, but I've not been confident in any of our performances in this competition so far. Oh. Not a single one. So, yeah, that's where we are.
We've this kind of reoccurring theme of individual brilliance and moments has lasted for a long time at United, and I have no idea what the actual main source of it is. It's happened under like numerous managers. I really don't get it. But I wanted to ask you, Lushan, about a couple of individuals at Coventry. Who are your kind of main threats at the moment? Who should we keep an eye on during this game? And also, if you can, just elaborate a little bit on how you kind of set up.
Yeah, so obviously I think our big names that at the moment are at the top. We've got Hadji Wright and Ellis Sims.
Yeah.
Both consecutive record signings for the club. Hadji Wright coming from Turkey, Antalya Sport, and then Sims coming from Everton. Took a while to find their feet. So at the start of the season, there was a time when we didn't really think that they were going to be playing together on the same pitch. It didn't look like they were going together. And we had our main man for a few seasons, Matty Godden, been a mainstay for the team. But he's been relegated to the bench now because that partnership between Sims, now we've got him shooting, firing up front, and Hadji Wright put him on the wing. It's been a real good partnership up there.
Yeah.
And then we've also got Callum O'Hare. So I don't know how much you guys know about him, attacking midfielder. We signed him we got him on a free actually from Villa. And he's been, just flashes of pure brilliance. Prem clubs have been after him in the past, but he's had a few injury issues. But honestly, since he's come back this season for us from an ACL, which took him out for most of last year, he's been phenomenal. Past recent few weeks, I'd say he's sort of been a bit more reserved because there is talk about him leaving at the end of the year. But on his day when he wants to be, he's an incredible player. So those are the three I'd definitely look out for in an attacking perspective. But we've also got some big names at the back. Like left back, we got Jake Bidwell, who when we signed him, a lot of people did not like him. He was too slow for our style of play at the time. We were playing a back five. The man wasn't really built to be a wing back. He's much more comfortable in a back four. And he made an incredible goal line clearance the other day. Just diving header off the line, pure class. So I'd watch out for him. And our centre backs as well, on their day, really good. So
you've got a good couple of threats then, which makes it interesting. Lushan mentioned style of play there. We don't have to go over ours because we know it's just utter chaos and madness, and there is no tactics really. You can't really call it that, and that's exactly how that Liverpool game was represented. How do you see this game playing out stylistically? Again, I know you haven't watched much of the opposition, but how do you see it going? Do you think?
Do you want the short answer? Or do you want the long answer?
Whatever you want to give, mate. Whatever you want to give.
I'll give you both. The short answer is more of the same. What you saw against Liverpool, that's probably what you're going to see. We'll look really threatening going forward, but we're going to concede about 20 plus shots, if not more. Ellis Sims been banging in the goals for Coventry. Is Casey Palmer injured, Lush?
So that's another thing I wanted to talk to you about. He's actually suspended for the game.
Right.
Ooh.
So he's scored some absolute stunners the last couple of months, and there's been 2 goals in particular I've watched where he's been like, this guy's ridiculous. So he was a threat I was worried about, but if he's been suspended, I suppose that's one less problem. But yeah, we're going to concede shots, we're going to concede turnovers, we're going to get countered on. It just happens to every game. It doesn't matter who we play, really, does it? Everton did it to us, Luton did it to us, Bournemouth did it to us. Every single team knows how to play against us. It's so easy to play. You 2 passes through the midfield and you're in on goal and you get a shot, and that's the way to do it. Our press is so obvious. We press the narrow centre backs. All you have to do is play out to your full backs and play out 2 passes through. It's a blueprint. Every team knows it, and that's why it's happened game after game after game. So I don't expect Ten Hag to suddenly go, oh yeah, I'm going to change that this game. He's going to play the same way. He's going to do the same thing, and you're going to see utter chaos. And it's just a case of whether we can score more goals. That's what it comes down to. If we can score more goals, or we get lucky on penalties, that's kind of where it is at the minute.
I mean, it's hugely significant, isn't it, for Erik Ten Hag, really? Because if he goes out to Coventry, and I mean this with all due respect, if we get knocked out to Coventry in semi-finals, I mean, the pressure that's going to be on this manager's head is going to be absolutely massive. And then you kind of flip the script. You look at someone like Mark Robbins, who's famously remembered for his time at United, a famous goal against Nottingham Forest in the 90s. You got the whole situation. How special of occasion do you think it'll be for him? We're looking forward to it, right?
Oh yeah, like 100%. As in Mark Robbins, you look at his career and it's Man U, then Norwich. They're the two clubs as a player that you remember him for. Well, obviously not me. I wasn't born when he was playing. But you mentioned that goal against Forest. I've read somewhere that the board were out to sack Fergie.
Yep.
Yeah,
if he
yeah.
didn't win that game.
Yeah.
He scored that goal, propelled him to the next round. I think he also scored in the semi.
Correct.
Yeah, to get he got you in the final. So he has FA Cup history with Man U, which is quite exciting. But I think he'll be really up for it. Like every time we've seen him go up against a club where he's been involved as a player or a manager, there's always been nothing but respect, but also that extra.
Yeah, a bit of extra bite about him, don't
there?
Yeah. Absolutely. Do you think it would save Eric Ten Hag's job, Sam, if he won the FA Cup? Let's say we finish where we are right now, 6th, 7th, whatever it is. If he wins the FA Cup, do you think that saves his job?
It's probably not enough, but I think it probably helps his case more than going out, obviously. Like, if you can say you've won 2 trophies in 2 seasons, it looks better on the sheet, on the sort of the CV, rather than if you looked at the actual how we were playing during each of those seasons. Because if you look at last season, we finished we finished 3rd, top 3, we won a trophy, went to the FA Cup final, and where did we crash out in the Europa League quarters? We got a
quarters against Sevilla, wasn't it?
Yeah, so you look at that on paper, you're like, that's an alright season, it's pretty decent. But you saw, after, I think it was just before the Carabao Cup final, our form started to fall off a cliff. Like, we were just about... Marcus Rashford was holding us together and putting goals in. That's the only reason...
Feels weird saying that, doesn't it, Sam?
We're playing
look at him this season.
We were playing pretty dire football, but Marcus Rashford was pulling his ass out, trying to
he was.
pull United across the line. And then you look at this season, if you looked, he's finishes 6th, 7th, which is not great, and the rest of the competitions have been dismal. He wins an FA Cup. That looks less of a bad season, but it's still a trophy. But I think you have to look at the progression between the 2 seasons. Because if you look at the progression, I don't see it. I think there's regression, if anything, in terms of everything else. But I think he keeps, unless we spectacularly collapse against Coventry, like they just absolutely whip us to death, and then we just fall off the rest of the season, I think he's got his job till the summer. And I think Ineos, when Jason Wilcox and Dan Ashworth are in, I think that's when the assessment's going to happen, and they'll talk and chat, and they'll have to explain what his vision is, all that, and if he gets another chance. But I think summer's probably when the decision gets made, unless obviously disaster happens in these next couple of games.
Yeah, I mean, Lushan, I'm not sure how much you watch United, and again, I'm going to ask you about Gyökeres and the stadium situation and a couple of other things about Crewe, so we're not turning it into a United preview, but I just wanted to ask you, what are your overall thoughts? Have you watched us at all closely? Like, do you have any opinion at all?
Yeah, as in, I've got I keep up with Sam about it throughout the season, and I think, honestly, Ten Hag himself, there's sometimes you watch it, and as you said, Sam, you're always playing the same press, same tactics, but at some points it is the players you've got to look at. Like, sometimes they're just 50-50 on whether they're going to turn up on the pitch. But then again, you do have really exciting players, like really exciting young players coming through who just have to learn that composure, that mentality. So I think at the end of the day, it isn't all down to Ten Hag, but there is a lot of onus that should be put on him, especially with the injury situation. I know that you guys had going on where you've got multiple defenders out injured, a lot of fatigue-related injuries,
muscle injuries.
At some point, you've got to look at. I mean, your squad depth. You have multiple starting teams that you could field against us if you were all fit. We've got 23 players in our first team squad on a good day.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you've got to look at the manager in situations like that and just think, is he taking care of things behind the scenes as well? And you can play bad looking football and still get the results, but as you said, it's the progression isn't there for you.
56 it's one of injuries, Nick? Is it 56 separate injuries, I think, last count?
It's something along the lines of that, which obviously holds weight, and I completely understand that. But like Lushan just rightfully mentioned, like, I remember playing Brighton, and Brighton played us off the park. They beat us 3-1, right? I think it might have been at Old Trafford as well. And their team is worth, at the time when they played us, 30-40 million, I think. Ours was worth 500 million. and he played us completely off the park. So it gets to a certain point where I'm looking at the player, looking at the talent that we've got, and I'm saying, I know we're less average than people think. Like, people put these people like Rashford on a pedestal and other people. I've always said he's a purple patch player who turns up what he wants, and it's a similar situation with a lot of the players that we have at the club. But the coach, I still think you can get more out of this team if you set up a certain way. I still think you could be a little bit more pragmatic, just in my opinion, and pivot and switch in certain things. And he's just been constant, and Sam. He's just been relentlessly, almost naive going into games, just like
stubbornness,
completely open.
Stubbornness. It comes down to stubbornness, because obviously last season he started, played Brighton and Brentford, got absolutely mopped the floor with, and went, right, this system don't work. I can't play this way. Switched it up, and we managed to get good run of games with Casemiro, Eriksen, Bruno midfield, and Rashford was playing well, etc. And then this season he's gone, I want to play this transitional style football, and it's not worked so often. But he's just this time he's just gone, I'm not changing it. I'm just going to stick with it, because eventually it will click. And it's like, we're now 6-7 games out from the end of the season. It hasn't clicked. And I know he's had injuries and stuff like that. But if you've got all those injuries and the style's not working, change something. Tweak it, move people around, like formations, do something else to get a result out of it, because what you're doing is not working, regardless of injuries, regardless of players not turning up. Play players who deserve minutes. Mason Mount deserves minutes. Ahmad deserves minutes. Drop Rashford, drop Bruno, drop players who are not performing, and he's just very steadfast in not doing any of that. And it's probably going to cost him his job if he carries on. Like, he will cost him his job, and then he won't have... I agree with Lushan. Certain players have been apocalyptically bad and not shown up this season. Like, we've been through it. Rashford, Bruno at times,
Casemiro.
Jesus Christ. Like, it's been so many players who've just not shown up, who are on massive wages and great players, and they've not shown up. So they need to take a lot of the blame also. And then we've talked about the social media thing, which is doing my fucking head in as well, but that's a separate conversation. But yeah, there's a lot of blame on all sides, but at the end of the day, the responsibility does stop with the manager, unfortunately.
100%. I do want to dive back into the Coventry talk. I'm just going to read out a quick stat for you. Manchester United have won 13 of their last 15 meetings with Coventry in all competitions. This is the first game between the sides, as you mentioned before, since September 2007, with Coventry winning 2-0 at Old Trafford in the League Cup. So 17 years ago. We are talking, which kind of bodes well if you're looking at it from a Coventry perspective. Just chat to me about the stadium a little bit, because I am a little bit not naive, but I don't know this whole situation. I know there was bits back and forth. We had to move away from it, didn't you, or something along the lines of that? What was that situation for people who don't know?
Yeah, so I think it's probably better explained if I just talk about what happened from the start of the Premier League.
Yeah.
So we were a founding member of the Prem in the top division, and we were relegated in the 2000-2001 season. And during that period of time, a new stadium had been commissioned, so we were playing our games at Highfield Roads. Really, really nice stadium. I think I'd been there as a as an infant. Yeah. Which, yeah. So hear a lot of things about the stadium, but CBS Arena, which we call the Rico, was one of our old sponsors, but it's the CBS now, Coventry Building Society Arena. Never actually belonged to the club, so we were renting it. We were going through a bunch of financial troubles, and in 2007 we were bought by a hedge fund called Sisu. And I know you guys have your fair share of ownership struggles.
Oh god!
But I think being one of the, well, if not the biggest football franchise in the world, you've managed to stay afloat from that. But this hedge fund basically were seeping investment from the club, putting nothing in really, and just taking money out. So
sounds like us.
Yeah,
still sounds like us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds like you, but with less investment.
Yeah.
Because we've had players come through our ranks like Callum Wilson, Madison.
Oh, no way. Oh shit.
Club players. Yeah. Like I've seen them play in the Coventry, and then now watching them play in the Prem.
Yeah, it must hurt that, innit? Must think, oh god, what if?
Yeah, it would hurt a lot more if we were in the Prem and they were scoring against us.
Yeah,
sure. But yeah, so in I think the 2013 season, so about 10 years ago now, we were ground sharing with Northampton. Didn't make it out to any of those games just because I was in school, but proper form. And then at the end of that, it was sort of semi-resolved. We were back to the Rico. Played there for about, I want to say 5 years. And then we had to ground share with St Andrews in Birmingham. Now, I want you to find me 2 teams who are a city away, 1 road away, that don't have some sort of ill will towards each other.
Yeah.
Imagine us playing at City's ground. That is just not going to go well, is it?
Yeah.
At least we'd fill the stadium.
Yeah, it's a good point.
I remember going to those games, jacket zipped up, on the train, like trying to get a taxi, and then having to walk past all these pubs that said, "Oh, no Coventry fans," even though Birmingham weren't playing that day, sort of thing.
Wow.
And yeah, we were homeless basically. And then we returned to the Rico, now the CBS Arena. I should keep correcting myself for sponsorship reasons. But yeah, I remember that first game back. We were playing Forest, actually. It was a first home game back, first home league game back. Covered by Sky Sports, everything. Cracking atmosphere. I think it was 94th minute winner from our centre back Carl McFadzean, who's now he's now left us. He's gone to Blackburn. But yeah, just amazing atmosphere, and it's so good to have our home back, if that makes sense. Now,
there's nothing like home, is there? Like, quite literally, like they're saying, like there's nothing like it at all. I couldn't imagine going to a different stadium. I really couldn't. I know United are looking to build one and move into a different one, but that'll be a state of the art. It'll still be in the same area. Having to move, like St Andrews and then different one, Northampton is a bit.
Depending on how we do it, we could, like, I know there's talk of building it next to the one we have, so we can still use the old one. But imagine they don't decide to do that, and we do have to go play somewhere else.
Purely from a match day revenue perspective, I think they'd struggle because United make about 4 million per match day. Yeah. So if they was to go anywhere, they're significantly dropping off wherever they go, in that kind of reality. But I think that story's interesting. I just didn't know much about it, to be honest with you. I heard about the situation, but didn't read into it. But yeah, it's nice to be home. Of course, which you won't be on Sunday. It'll be Wembley. But yeah, you've had was you away against Wolves?
We were away against Wolves, but as we say, Wembley's practically home for us club fans.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Yeah, so we won the EFL trophy there a couple of years back. We won promotion there from League Two. We were in League Two a few years ago, so yeah, yeah, we won promotion there a few years ago, and then obviously last year, as you said, playoff final, playing against Luton Town, went to penalties. So honestly, like being in that stadium in that moment, it was like gut wrenching to know that we were one kick away. It was a missed pen at the end, but it's, you know what, all the players play their hearts out on the day. You can't blame anyone.
Yeah. Sam, there's actually a connection between both clubs. Well, I don't know if you'd call it a connection, actually. It's a weak connection. But a player we've been speaking about a lot is Viktor, I don't know how to pronounce his name, Gyökeres, I'm going to go with.
Gyökeres?
Gyökeres,
Viktor
Gyökeres, yeah.
Okay, all right. So, Viktor Gyökeres, who we've spoken about in depth. First and foremost, that's someone you would look at bringing in. You look at our striker situation in a minute with Rasmus Højlund, the only fit and available striker at the minute because Martial's fucking, I don't know what's going on with him in a minute. Is he someone you're a fan of? Of course, you used to play for Coventry. I'm going to ask Lushan about that in a second.
Yeah, like I saw bits of him for Coventry when they had their playoff run, and a lot of people were touting. A lot of Premier League clubs were interested, but as we were saying off camera,
monitoring.
Yeah. Keeping tabs, all that usual bollocks that they write in the papers. But no, like Lucia said off camera, like none of the clubs came in for him. So he ends up going to Sporting Lisbon, and he's 36 goals, 16 assists in Europe. I think he's only behind Harry Kane. I just stole Lucian's fact. Sorry, Lucian, stealing your fact. So he looks quality, man. He looks really interesting. And then again, off camera, he spoke about Amrin possibly going to Liverpool. Does he follow him there? There's all that kind of sort of thing. His release clause is 100 million, so I think that's a hell of a lot of money to spend on a striker who may or may not be your number one striker, because I think a lot of us agree that Højlund's shown enough to be like, this kid is good enough to be our number one starting striker. So do you go with the option of you've got 2 starting strikers and they fight it out for whoever's the best, and it's like iron sharpens iron and the best one wins? Or do you go with the other option of like getting a more experienced striker who's on the decline of his career, who can step in for Højlund when he needs a rest, and he can learn off and he can mentor him and teach him about positioning? If only we had like a prime, like an aging Robin van Persie or something. That'd be the dream, wouldn't it? Do you go that option? So there's a couple of options there. I think 100 million is a lot, and I think that would lead us with a lot less to spend in other major areas. Not to say striker is not a major area, because we've only got one. So, but we need centre back, we need a midfielder, we need possibly a winger, depending on how many wingers I want to kick off this season, and we kick out at the end of the season. So I think it's a lot of money. I do like him a lot. I think he's a very talented kid, but it's a lot of money for me. A lot.
Well, the reason why I asked Lushan is because obviously you've got to watch him frequently. If I don't know how long he was at Coventry, but I'm guessing you've seen him in person, in flesh. And there'd be a lot of United fans watching, asking what is he, what's he like, what type of player is he. Do you have that kind of overall of him?
Yeah. So he's been at us for I want to say a good couple of years. So we got him on we had him on loan from Brighton, I believe he came from, for a bit, and then turned into a permanent signing. He was a January loan signing. Yeah. Turned permanent, and he started slow for us. I'm not gonna lie. He wasn't banging in goals left, right, and centre. But last season, I think the coaching we have with Mark Robbins and Adi Vivash, all the players say he got something out of him. He awoke something, and then he was just banging in goals for fun, really, last season. He's a big guy, really well built, really good game sense and game knowledge. He knows where the ball's gonna be. He knows how to position himself if the ball's not going where he wants it to be. And you bet, like, if you just throw the ball somewhere near him, he's got that sense to attack it and get it into the net. He's sort of, I don't want to say Ibrahimovic, but in a similar sort of like stature, runs, game knowledge, he's got all the qualities to be one of the top strikers in the world. And I still think he hasn't reached his peak yet at Sporting. So very scary for everyone in the Prem if he does move anywhere.
Only 25 years old, right? Is that correct? I mean, he's only, like you said, not even close to his prime yet. In that sense, still got a good couple of years, and then especially when you go to the Prem, you against more tougher opposition. You get, you level up even more, which, like you said, is going to be scary. So whoever gets him, I think he's going to be a great player, and I think he's, from what I've seen, because I watched him a couple of times for Sweden, I watched him a couple of times for Sporting as well. I think he's built for the Premier League, to be honest with you, and I think a move is inevitable in that sense. Sam, should we do some quick fire questions?
Yeah, let's do it.
We get into him. Right, so we'll bring it back to the game slightly. Went off on a bit of a tangent. Man United versus Coventry, semi-finals. Will any team keep a clean sheet?
No, not a chance.
No.
Okay. Goals at both ends.
Yeah.
Who's more likely to score first?
I'm gonna say Man U will likely score first.
I'll say Coventry, because we seem to concede first every single game in the last couple of weeks. Every game.
Yeah. Who is the most likely player to get sent off? So for Coventry, who's a bit of a hothead?
I'm going to go for Liam Kitching, like left centre back. He's been sent off before this season, and he can find himself on the wrong end of decisions. But yeah, out of that, I don't think any of our players show that spite in them.
Okay, he's going on my bet builder then. Sam, for us, I think we'd probably say the same thing, but who you going for?
Who do you think I'm going to say?
Casemiro.
Yeah, there you go. Next question.
Casemiro. Yeah. One player you would take from United, Lushan?
I'd take...
You think of what you need at Coventry, who would be the best fitting?
That's the thing, you don't really have too many options there.
It's a good point. It's a good point.
I'd gone at Shaw Hoyland. Just the speed that those two have is unreal. Even though I know we've got a great attack, yeah,
fair enough. Who wins out of Chelsea and City?
City.
I'd say Chelsea.
I think Chelsea could do it.
I hope Chelsea do. Yeah. Just somebody needs to stop City's treble. Like somebody has to, whether it's Madrid or Chelsea, either one. Just somebody stop it.
Hala Madrid. Madrid. I'm glad you said that. Just have to get it in there. I was going to say at the start of the thing. Do you think Chelsea? Yeah, Lushan?
Yeah. I think Chelsea, just purely because with Chelsea, you never know who's going to turn up. Palmer's on a bit of a streak at the moment.
Oh, killing it.
I think, honestly, as much as I don't really like either club, I'd rather Chelsea win it than Man City.
Yeah.
And then I'd rather them in the final as well if we get through. So
Yeah.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Prediction for man of the match. Who do you think is going to be a key player in this game for Coventry, and then obviously for United, Sam?
United. I don't even know if a United player is going to be man of the match. Maguire. I don't know. That's it.
Man of the match, Maguire.
Yeah.
That's a defensive
Yeah.
choice.
Yeah.
Very defensive.
Yeah.
He's just going to be getting
Wow.
his head on shit and look good, because I don't see anybody else showing up, to be honest with you. So
Yeah, I'm going to go for Ben Sheaf from Coventry. All round, incredible midfielder. He knows how to get his distribution out. He can defend. He can control the game. He can start plays and set him up. And yeah, there's a reason why I think Wenger called him one of his favourite players he's had at the academy. So.
Oh wow. Does he want to play for United? Because we need a midfielder who knows how to distribute and keep hold of the ball. That'd be amazing. Because
I think he'd rather stay in a winning team.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Right then, we can get onto the predicted 11s in a moment. I'm just going to read out a couple of comments because a couple of them are funny. Dan Evinson says, play Mount in the 10, Bruno box to box, and Mainu in the holding role.
change something. Just change something. Do something.
It's an experiment, but he's always going to play Casemiro. He's always. I'm past even trying to speculate.
He's going to play. He's not going to drop Bruno. He's going to play him in the 10. That's what's going to happen. Right?
Yeah. G Plays says we are so bad. I'm not sure if he's a Coventry fan or a United fan, but I'm guessing the latter. It's Sam. If we lose this one, I don't even know what to think. If we lose this one, then I've gone. In my opinion, Lucky Singh, Mason Mount, or Amad Diallo will have to start for Sunday. Very big clash. Again, it's not happening. Yeah, we just come on. We've been here before. We have been here before. We've seen it numerous times. It just does not happen. Right. Predicted 11s. Who's going first, Sam?
We'll get ours out of the way just because we know what the fuck it is going to be with ours.
Have we gone the same?
No, I've changed one thing more out of hope and just will for it to happen. Just make it happen. But yeah, you go with yours, Nick.
Mine's boring as fuck. I've just gone the same team again because the defensive wise, we have no other options. Midfield, he never changes it in there, and then the attack wise as well, it's going to be the same. So yeah, sorry to be plain Jane, but that's what we're going to do. Simple as.
Yeah, I've gone one change. Everything else is the same, but I've gone one change. I think there might be a little bit of fallout from the Garnacho thing, and I think he might drop him, send a message, put him on the bench.
Antony.
No, so I think Mount plays in the 10, and then Bruno goes out on the right. So I think we need to get a hold of this midfield. So I think out of possession, Bruno can drop in, and we need to get a hold of the midfield. So
yeah,
I don't believe this is going to happen. By the way, this is me trying to speak something into existence because I need him to change something and give me something to hold on to. So maybe the Garnacho thing, there might be a little bit of truth to it. I don't know, but more than likely, Nick's team is going to be the one. So
okay, Lushan, who is going to start for you? Do you think? What's the regular setup?
So I think in goal it's going to be Brad Collins. He's new this season, but he's been doing a good job. He's got good distribution. He doesn't rely on his defence too much. He pulls out some good saves. And then I've gone for a back four. So I've gone for Jake Bidwell on the left. Class player. Unit. He's a Terminator. Don't be surprised if you see Hoyland going off in a body bag at the end of the game. I've got Kitchen and Thomas in the centre back positions, and Milan van Elwijk on the right back. Another really good pacey player. He's been playing at right wing for us recently as well, actually. But I think I'd put him back there defensively because I think we need it this game. And then in the midfield, I've got Sheaf and Eccles sort of holding, and Callum O'Hare just above him in that sort of cam role. And then left wing, Hadji right wing, I've gone for Fabio Tavares. That's my rogue shout for the Cov team.
Okay.
He hasn't started much. He was out for a year, injured, so he actually got injured in the FA Cup against Wrexham last January. Made his return. He's really fast, really unpredictable. I'm honestly sure at some points when I don't know if he's going to score, he doesn't know, but he just does it for fun.
Wild card.
And then Ellis Sims, striker, and
Is Sims on loan from Everton?
Nah, He's ours outright. So he was on loan at Sunderland for the first half of last season. They recalled him. He scored that goal against Chelsea around this time last year. Kind of kept Everton up, kept their hopes alive. Then they sold him to us in the summer. But the one player we are missing is Casey Palmer.
Yeah.
As I know you guys talked about earlier. Personally, I think it's really unfair why he's not playing. In that last minute goal celebration against Wolves, he ran onto the pitch.
And he got done for that.
He got yellow carded for that. He had a yellow card previously in the competition against, I believe, Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah.
And he's not allowed to play in the semi because of that. I counter you with Diallo got a red card.
Yeah, I was about to say
in
that.
the last round, and he's playing.
Yeah, I was about to say that. But again, I would argue, like, how can you book someone for that? Just scored the last minute winner in extra time against Liverpool. Like, have a fucking day off.
It was Wolves.
No, I'm about Ahmad for us when he got sent off. Last minute winner against your rivals. You just knocked him out. A red card. What was he? A yellow, wasn't it? Because he already had a yellow.
Yeah.
Just fucking ridiculous. But yeah, we could sit here for days about refs and certain decisions and stuff. Make sure you get your score predictions in the comments section. We are currently 28 off 4,800 subscribers. So if you can hit that subscribe button whether you're watching live or if you're watching this later on, we'd really appreciate that. Who wants to kick us off for the score predictions? Who's going to be the brave and the bold? What are we saying, lads? Sam, I don't think I want to hear yours, so I'll save yours till last because I think yours is going to be interesting. Lushan, do you want to kick it off?
Yeah, why not? I'm going to go for 3-2 Cov. We'll score in stoppage time. 93rd minute. Jake Bedwell, top bins. Unpredictable. So
yeah. You realise if that happens, you can never ever come on this channel ever again. If that happens, if that is fucking predictions, but yeah, banned forever. It's a tough one, isn't it? I think this could go extra time. In my opinion, I think it's going to be 1-1, quite tight. KJ. United probably win it in extra time, just because I look at the quality, having depth. I mean, players we could bring off the bench if we have certain players available. I think we could win it. You know, you think about Anthony, Mount, these kind of guys, Ahmad coming off the bench. I think they can affect it in that way. So I think it's going to be a tough KG game. By no means do I think it's going to be a walkover easy at all. I'm not in that mind state whatsoever. I know it's going to be a tough fight. You beat Wolves at Molineux. Like, that is a fucking tough place to go. So we always struggle there as well. So yeah, absolutely. I think it's going to be a tough game, but just edge it 2-1. Sam?
It's going to penalties, I'm afraid. And I think we just win on penalties. Just.
Ends at Wembley.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those are words that no club fan wants.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think when it comes down to like that sort of pressure situation and the penalty takers that we have, I think we come out on top on that. But in terms of the game, I don't see us dominating this game. I don't see us absolutely putting the sword to Coventry in any way. And I see him, they've definitely got fight in them, so I can see him fighting a draw. Maybe we go 2-1 up, and then they score in extra times, in injury time to get an equaliser, go to extra time, and it goes to pens, and then we win on pens. But yeah, that's as positive.
Well, we've all gone for something
as positive as I can go for United at the minute. So
yeah, we've all gone with something different there, haven't we? Full 90, extra time, and penalty. So one of us is going to be right in that sense, if there's any kind of silver lining. Dan Errington says, I've heard Lindelof could be fit for the game. I don't know. I haven't heard much about him, to be honest with you. Have you heard about Lindelof, Sam? Seen anything?
No, he had surgery, didn't he? So I thought he was out till May, but
no idea. Sam says, same team, Ten Hag ain't changing. You're probably correct. Dan Errington says 2-0 United. Lee Beckett says 3-2 Cov. Is he a Cov fan by any chance? I'm guessing. Wolves treatment. I could easily see that. And it's Sam 3-1 United. You know what it is with our community, right? When people put it, they seem very confident. I always see 3-1s,
every
4-1s, and I'm
every week, it's like 3-0.
I don't know what team you've been watching, or you've been dreaming, or like, I don't know.
You watched against Newport.
Exactly.
Newport put a good game against us.
They battered us, battered us.
Yeah. Well, what was the score again?
4-2 it was.
4-2, yeah. So you conceded 2 against Newport.
Exactly. Mate,
you got to give Cov at least that.
We concede against every single team we play. When was the last clean sheet we had? You remember? I can't remember the
Jesus.
last one. Every game we can see goals. It's just fucking
Last
embarrassing.
clean sheet.
Is it Liverpool at Anfield, the draw? Is that the last
No,
one?
there would have been one before. There would have been one before that, I'm sure.
Fucking hell.
Let me have a look, see when it is. See, anyone remember in the chat when United's last clean sheet was? What the weird thing is, Onana was in the running for the Golden Glove. Do you remember that? There's like
it's
8 clean
ridiculous.
sheets or something. It was Everton
Oh, yeah.
at home.
Yeah. Okay,
2-0.
I remember. Yeah, remember that one.
Yeah, that was the last clean sheet. And then since that game, we've conceded probably about 17 goals in itself. So
I think Lushan's girlfriend's in the chat. Amelia is saying 3-2 Cov. So there you go.
nice,
This is the one.
That's it.
Just get that one in there.
nice. Well, either way, I hope it's a good game. I had that kind of feeling it's going to be a decent, competitive tie. If you do beat us and go through to the final, trust me, I will be wearing a Coventry shirt, regardless if you're playing City or Chelsea. I will be backing that team 100%.
Yeah.
And you could end up doing us a favour either way. So yeah, look forward to it. Sam, do you have any last leaving words?
No, it's good to have an opposition
Definitely.
fan on who, this is a team I can't fucking stand, and B is also a mate of mine as well. So it's nice to have people on like this.
Sure.
I enjoy doing previews with like opposition fans. It's so much more fun than us just ranting about how shite United are. It's more interesting to learn about the opposition team and talk about that. So yeah, cheers Lushan for coming on. Appreciate it.
Oh, no worries. Just hoping we can do the same as 87. I mean, we beat you then. We beat Wednesday then as well in the FA Cup, and we beat Spurs in the final. So
There you go.
yeah.
Well, it's set up for a perfect time. Make sure you come and join us at the weekend pre-match and post-match for the analysis. I'll certainly be live, and me and Sam will be live after the game as well.
Yeah.
Hit that subscribe button, smash a like on the video, check us out on socials. All your social tabs are at the top: TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that good stuff. And me, Sam, and Lushan will see you guys in the next one. Take it easy. Peace.
Peace.